Hello, my Teaserking family. How is everybody tonight? Apologize for yesterday. I'm still kind of working out my schedule. So after work, went swimming, made some dinner, and I was just too tired. Monday after daylight savings. So anyway, I should be here this time normally. Going forward. Anyway, so an interesting weekend. We talked about college pros. Pros wasn't bad. I just lost. Basically, the Lion game was the killer. But if I go through the pros from last week, Dallas Atlanta over, I hit 27-21 over 46. I hit the Buffalo game over and Buffalo. It was weird. I was debating about, do I play Buffalo or the over, Philly or the over, the Rams or the over, and it didn't matter. And I won all three. I had Buffalo, I won. I had the Cincy over, I won. San Diego was the first lock under 49, that won. Had Washington over the Giants, that won. Lost with New Orleans. How the fuck did Bryce Young beat them? Denver, the free pick. I gotta figure out how to do free picks because they're terrible. I don't understand how Baltimore loses to Cleveland and Oakland, and then they blow out Denver. Something sounds awful fixed in this thing because how do you lose to Oakland and Cleveland then, and then you blow out Denver? Have the under in the Bears Arizona game. Lose the lock on Detroit Green Bay over 41. It was 38. Green Bay dropped 10 passes, one right in the end zone for the touchdown we needed. The rain, I didn't really think that was a problem. Detroit had no problems, no drops, So it was weird how that Green Bay just looked terrible. Like they look like they've never played before. We have the Rams over against Seattle. That wins. Mini over 40. It's 34. And I get no points in the first half. How the hell does that happen? I missed 3 field goals. That's the over. So that in the Clemson game with all these field goal misses. And then we hit Kansas City yesterday minus 2.5. That wins. What was it, 34-27, I think, in overtime. Now, what did we learn? Well, Miami's offense is not as bad as we thought. Okay. Oakland can score. All right. Cincinnati's purely an over team. San Diego dominant. Like I said, Winston didn't show up. New England, don't tell me Drake May's any good. I ain't buying that. Washington and the Giants. Washington's very strong team. The Giants show they can score. New Orleans, Carolina, New Orleans, even with Carr, they clearly suck to lose to Carolina with Steve Young, which we know they suck. So New Orleans must really suck. Denver were scratching their heads and Baltimore was scratching their heads. Baltimore, we know, can score, and they're generally an over team. And had I gone over with them, we would have won. I was shocked by the line. I didn't think Baltimore's 9.5 over anybody, and Denver's a good team. Their defense failed to show up, which is strange because they're a 15 defense. The bet was correct. The game was different. I don't know. Philly, Jacksonville. I liked Philly, and I would like the over, and I was debating. It shows you their defense is not as strong. That's what I was worried about. And then Jacksonville pretty much can score, and they're pretty much an over team. See, Had I known this, the locks would have been Buffalo over, Philly over, probably instead of the Minnesota. Well, the Minnesota, there was no weather. I didn't mind that because Indy with Flacco, I thought would score, and many scores 30 points a game. So this is a really weird game that it didn't go over. The Rams Seattle, I was worried about Seattle not scoring. They did their 20. I ended up going over 42. We get 46. Once it went into overtime, I knew I won. It was 20-20. I got to get to 43 with the field goal. And then last night, again, I was debating between Kansas City and the over, and they both win. Now, one thing I I find really stupid are these analysts, these TV guys. So I'm watching the LA Seattle game, and it's 20-20. Go in overtime now. Okay. Seattle drives to the 20-yard line, and it's 4th and 1 or 4th and 2. And Jonathan Vilma goes, "Oh, it's a good call to go for it." What are you on drugs, Vilma? You think you're back at Miami? What are you talking about? How can it be? You're in overtime. Kick the field goal. Make them kick the field goal. All you got to do is hold them, and you win. What is the advantage of going for it on 4th and 1 or 2 at the 20 in overtime? Kick the field goal. So they don't. Of course, they don't make it. And the Rams, boom, 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 4 plays, touchdown. I thought that this announcer was the stupidest guy I've ever seen in my life. How do you say it's good to go for it in overtime? You get your points. How do you not get your points? What is so good about 4th down? And then they never get it anyway. They ran up the middle, and of course they didn't get it. And that's always the part they never talk about. Well, it's a good thing to go for it. It's aggressive. If we can't get the yard, if you can't get the yard, you lose. And then the coach gets fired because he just lost. I don't like the Seattle coach at all. He's as stupid as the one they just had. What was that? Which team had that they fired him? It wasn't Seattle because that was Coach Pete, but you kicked the field goal. I mean, are these coaches this stupid that they can't think for themselves, that they go, "Oh, analytics says I gotta go for it." Oh my God. And the Rams just stuffed them. I mean, it's just unbelievable. So that was last week. This week, I got to pull my data. Again, this is the problem with working all day and then going to the pool, having dinner, and now I've got to I've got to look at my pros, but we got time. So let's look at college. Well, we got to check gold, don't we? All right, let's look at gold first, then we'll look at college. Gold. Gold's at 27.39. It's 740. Yeah, okay, it's perfect. Silver 32.44. Let's see who wins the election. I have no idea. I hear Trump's ahead, but don't quote me on it because we know it's a fixed election. We know it's not. We know George Soros. All you hear is voting integrity. So you got to show your ID in Michigan. I got to show my ID to vote. Yeah, but it doesn't matter because it's the machine that's fixed. It's the machine counting the votes is the problem, not me showing up with my passport or my license. It's the machine itself, which they don't want to talk about. No. It's got to be the guy. I mean, George Soros, as far as I'm concerned, is still fixing the election, right? That hasn't changed. So I don't buy that the election is good. Look at the guy in London, in England, won, and he was a Keynesian liberal who won, who's destroying London. So I don't buy any of that shit, and that's what's happening here. So be careful. Should Trump win? Yeah, because Kamala Harris, doesn't even matter. It's like the movie The Batman, when they said it doesn't matter who wins the mayor race, Falcone was still going to run the city. And it doesn't matter who wins. George Soros is still going to run the country, and we're in massive debt and massive inflation, and the money's not worth anything. I think I'll go out and buy some gold tomorrow. So I get my first paycheck. It probably will be Thursday, because I talked to the gal and she said Wednesday she does payroll. The direct deposit should be there Thursday because payday is really Friday. But they don't show up Friday, they show up Thursday. So I'll check my direct deposit. So off to the gold store, I think. 27.38. Okay, let's go to eBay. Let's see how much it's going to cost me for my gold. I'll probably buy 1.5 ounces. An ounce is going to be let's see. I love when you do 1 ounce and 1/10 of an ounce. Those up. 1/10 of an ounce is about 320. Maple Leaf 28.44. Half ounce 13. I'm glad I filtered on ounce. This JM Bullion's ridiculous. They keep showing old prices. They don't take their auctions down. Okay, a 1 year Eagles 29.11. Here's one for 29.45. Half ounce 15.93, 15.07. A 1 ounce Maple Leaf 28.70. A quarter ounce is 7 something. A Maple Leaf 2,900. So it's going to cost me roughly about 2,900 for a 1 ouncer. And then if I get a half ouncer, about 1,500. Here's a quarter ouncer, 776. 722, 772. So it's going to cost me 770 for a quarter ouncer and about 2,900. So it's going to cost me 3,600 for 1 ounce and a quarter, which used to cost me about 2,400. So what cost me 24 is going to cost me 36. This is the lesson at hand. You're waiting on buying this, you can't, because it just keeps going up because of bricks. And as the demand goes up, the price goes up. And so you've got to just get it to get it, right? But now that I'm working, I can afford it. And then I can't afford to keep my money in dollars because, as we know, the Titanic, it's sinking. All right. So that's what we have. So you can see it's going to be 36, but not to worry, it's going to be 10,000 soon. And that's really the key, which makes time travel possible, as we know. That's really what you've got to realize. I was telling a guy at work today, and I said, well, you got to realize that if you need money, if you need this paper bullshit, if you need the monopoly money, you can always sell your gold and get the monopoly money, right? I can go tomorrow and I was buying gold at 1,800. I can go sell it for 27.50. And so I can go sell it and get paper back. But look at the gold go up $1,000 and look at this go tanked. Gold really probably should have went up about 3,000 if you left the derivatives out of it. So I did my Titanic equation on him, and and everybody gets it because the boat's sinking. You need a lifeboat. Here, the dollar, it's sinking. The only lifeboat's gold and silver, so everybody gets it. Putin is going to definitely come out with the BRICS gold back currency, as I showed you, Mark McGuire. There is something on Putin I'll show you after we do football, where he's basically saying, I don't care because I've got no choice. My dollar's worthless, and I keep having to pay for the war, so he needs the gold. And so he's going to go out with a gold back currency. He's got no choice. I mean, we're forcing him to do it, and that's what he's doing. All right. So we went over college football on Sunday from last week. And then we took a peek at this week. So now let's take a look. Tonight, I didn't play. We got Bowling Green, Central Michigan. Bowling Green's 14-48, and Ball State, Miami was 12-48. I didn't play either game. Central started, and Miami of Ohio is about to start. I wasn't gonna. I'm tired of these Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday games starting the week off bad because what should normally happen isn't happening because it's that. Let's go through the Z teams and then we'll go through the lines. So tomorrow, Kent State's a Z team, 46 defense against Ohio. Let's see, where's our Z teams? Middle Tennessee State is a Z team against Liberty Saturday afternoon, 34 defense. UAB, a W team, 36 defense, goes against UConn. Southern Miss, a Z team, 34 defense, goes against Marshall. Georgia State's a W, 31 defense, goes against James Madison, who we like. Kennesaw State, a Z team with a 31 defense, plays UTEP, a Z team with a 29. So the only problem with this Conference USA, there's 4 Z teams, and they keep playing each other. So you're kind of frozen out by Z playing Z. Temple, a Z team, 35 defense, goes against Tulane. Arkansas State's a W team with a 31 defense. New Mexico State's a Z team with a 36 defense. Florida State's a W team with a 27 defense, probably a Z team with Uglia Buglia. The Air Force is a Z team with a 27 defense. Without Army's starting quarterback, they lost 20-3. And that is it. Now let's go through some lines. So we've got Ohio 19-52.5 to Kent State. Again, Kent's the Z team, but Ohio's an under team. So are they going to light up Kent State? Well, they got to cover 19, or in our world, 13. It's a big number. Northern Illinois, Western Michigan. Northern Illinois, 1.5, 52. To Western. Western's an explosive team. Northern Illinois, we don't know what happened. You beat Notre Dame and you lose to half the MAC teams. Western with the over, they score 35, they give up 34. And Northern Illinois is an under team, giving up 18. So will Western be able to score enough to be a live dog? That's your question. Coastal Carolina, 1-62 to App State. App State is an over team, 34 defense. Coastal Carolina is an over team, 33. Do you go over the 62? I mean, it's the only way you can play it, or App State. But App State, neither team really has a defense. You probably get a high-scoring game here, we'll have to see. I'm going to circle it. I haven't played anything. I have posted a pro lock, which involves the game on Thursday. So I have posted that. And I'm going to have a couple other locks in the pros. In college, I can see a few locks forming, a couple of nice totals, and a couple of live dogs as we like. I'll get to those later. East Carolina, 7.5, 57. Am I on? No, it's Friday night. East Car. Oh, that's tomorrow. Okay. That's Thursday. East Car is 7.5, 57. Florida Atlantic's an E team with a 30 defense. East Car is an over team with a 28. 57. We'll have to check quarterbacks on that one. But East Carr's been scoring a lot. Cal and Wake. Cal 755. With one problem, they're traveling from California to North Carolina. Very difficult, as we've seen it in the Big Ten. We're seeing it in the ACC. Incredibly stupid to make the West Coast go east and the East Coast go west. What the fuck are they doing? Incredibly dumb decisions here. I think I would just have the West Coast teams play each other with a couple of games, people coming to them, and maybe they got 2 games going out east, but they know better than me. It's good TV to have these teams play like shit. Cal's a B team, 17 defense. So they're playing really good defense. Wake Forest, an over team with the 31. I would love Cal to be the dog, but they're not. They're a 7-point favorite. Hard call there. Memphis, 952.5 to Rice. This was 10 going down to 9. And a 52.5. Memphis is a B team, 23 defense. Rice is an under team, 23, but they beat Navy. So according to Alex, here they come. And I don't know. He told me they sucked. They lost to Charlotte. So they're getting better. Memphis, good quarterback, Hennigan. Rice has Kurt Warner's kid. So we'll see. Total, both teams with the 23 defense. Memphis normally can light it up. So maybe over 46. I don't know. Iowa, UCLA. This is one of those Big Ten. We're going to the West Coast, and they're making them favorites. Iowa, 5.5, 44.5. UCLA just beat Nebraska. UCLA is playing much better than they were. They finally got it going. The coach finally understands. There's no way in hell I'd take Iowa in this game. An 18 defense, UCLA's 28, but they shut down Nebraska. I think UCLA is a live dog in this game. Do I go over or under? I don't know, but UCLA's been scoring. They'll score on Iowa. Iowa, that's what you like about the running back because he'll travel, right? You got a good running back. It's hard to stop. You got a passer. You can throw interceptions. So we'll see here. I think UCLA's a live dog here. San Diego State, 366 to New Mexico. Wow. New Mexico, as I say, there's the greatest over team in the world this year. 45 offense, 41 defense. So they're going to score, and they're going to give up points like there's no tomorrow. San Diego State's an E team with the 27 defense. So New Mexico is going to put up 50 points in this game. So that leaves you over under 67 down to 61. San Diego State doesn't score a lot, but we'll have to check. Let's check them out. Let's see if San Diego State scored at all in any of their games. San Diego State. They put up 24 to Boise, lost 56-24. They did put up 26 to Washington State, 27 to Wyoming, who sucks, 27 to Hawaii, who has a pretty good defense. So based on this, they'll be in the mid-30s. New Mexico will be in the 40s. This should be a 75 to 85 point game. There you go. Now you're thinking I'm going to give it as a free pick. No, I don't know what to do as a free pick. I can't win I'm winning everything but the free picks. Navy, 357.5. Where are we? Navy. This is Saturday. Here we go. Navy is 357.5. That line hasn't moved. Navy's a B team, although they're slipping. 24 defense. South Florida's an over team with a 29 defense. I would think South Florida seems to be a live dog here at home. I think Navy, they're figuring them out. I don't know. It's tough to keep betting Navy watching them lose. You lost to Rice. I don't think you're going to blow out South Florida. Good game here. Cincinnati, 556.5 to West Virginia. West Virginia, an over team with a 28 defense. Good quarterback. Cincinnati, an A team with a 21 defense. They just lost to Prime by 11. We had 12. Here they're favored. West Virginia, Cincinnati, nobody's traveling much. I don't think you take West Virginia's die. I think you go over here. Cincinnati can score. They got a good defense, 21 defense. West Virginia can score. Good quarterback. Their defense is kind of weak. They're always kind of a weak defense. They hire these offensive coaches, and then the defense always sucks. You got a low total, 56. You go 50. That seems reasonable here. Minnesota Rutgers. Minnesota 646.5 to Rutgers. Rutgers is falling apart. An under team with the 25 defense, so they're almost a W. Minnesota's getting better. Their quarterback wasn't too good, and now he's much better. They're laying 6, though, at Rutgers. They did beat Illinois by, 8? At Illinois. Illinois' got a similar defense to Rutgers. Excuse me. Minnesota with a 16 defense, Rutgers with the 25. Over under 46. I don't know. Rutgers wants to run and play defense, and Minnesota's starting to throw the ball better. So really tricky game there. I don't know. Ohio State, Purdue. Ohio State 37.5, 53. Are you kidding me? What do you do with this game? Ohio State kills Iowa at home 35-7. They kill Michigan State at home 35-7, somewhere in there. They go to Penn State, which should have been an over. 2 touchdowns. Well, one turned into an interception. The other one, the guy fumbles at the goal line. So with that said, Ohio State can't afford to lose. They lost to Oregon. Had a tough game with Nebraska. I don't see it with Purdue because Purdue's got a 37 defense. So I think Ohio State pretty much lights them up here. I think Ohio State's good for 40 points. Purdue, what are you going to get from them? How do you lay 37? You lay 31. It's a big lay in conference. Purdue's bad. Ohio State probably kills them, but it's a lot of points in the conference. Florida, Texas. Texas, 21.5, 48. This is a mess. Florida, both quarterbacks are out, so they're down to their third stringer. They've lost a slew of defensive players to Georgia last week. Now they get Texas, who has been good, needs it for the playoffs. I think they lost. Yeah, they lost to Georgia. So they're going to be smarting off the loss. They got an 11 defense, Florida at 25. This would have been a perfect under if they were healthy, and it might be an under because there's no quarterback for Florida. So this is going to be very over under 48. And maybe it's an under 54 with Texas putting up 30, 40 points and Florida not anything because they don't have a quarterback. 11 defense for Texas. I think it'll be a lot like the Oklahoma game, 35-3, 35-10. You're laying 21. Florida's been playing much better. They had Georgia 2020. Georgia got the last 2. So it's really hard to say. I think maybe under just because Florida doesn't have a quarterback. Their defense is good, but they lost 4 or 5 players to Georgia on defense. So, we'll have to check that out. BC 253. Again, this is the preliminary look. BC 253. Syracuse, an over team with the 27 defense. BC's an even team with the 22 defense. I mean, probably a tease the dog game. I think you'd be okay. Texas State 749 to Lou Monroe. Texas State lost the other game 749. Texas State, we know, is an A team with the 22 defense. Great quarterback, McLeod. Lou Monroe, an under team with the 24 defense. Might hinder them a little bit. We have to check the weather again. There's a hurricane on the horizon going through Florida, which means also Lou Monroe in Georgia. But you would think Texas State with that smoking offense, all they got to do is win the game. We'll see. Miami, Georgia Tech. Is Kings playing? I got Miami 11, 63.5. I only like it if Kings playing. Otherwise, I can't like it. Georgia Tech. King, questionable with an upper body, but not doubtful or not out. Miami, did they lose anybody? No. A couple of DBs. So what do we got here? We got Miami laying 11 and 63. They were down to Duke. I always got the upset, but Miami woke up at the end, but we still covered with Duke in 27. I thought that line was way high. That's what I don't understand about the Baltimore Denver game. You had a way too high line on Miami Duke covers. How the hell did Baltimore get smoked or Denver get smoked like that? It's just crazy. Anyway, Miami is an 18. They both have 22 defenses. We like King. Cam, whatchamacallit for Miami's okay. Playing well, but we saw him at Washington State. He's not that good. But playing well in this system. Can Georgia Tech upset them? I don't think so, but Miami went to Cal and we're down 20 and pulled it out at the end. And then against Duke, they were down 11 in the fourth quarter and pulled it out. So hard to say. Georgia Tech's a good team. Not sure how good. And we need Kings. Liberty, 10.5, 54 to Middle Tennessee. 10.5, 54. Liberty's a B team, 23 defense, and Middle Tennessee's a Z team, 34 defense. Liberty's been playing poorly, and then here comes Middle Tennessee State. Thank you, God. I mean, this is you only laying 4 here against the Z team. Got to like Liberty to bounce back unless somebody's injured. Again, this is preliminary. We'll check all the injuries soon. Again, this isn't until Saturday. UConn 6.5, 56.5 to UAB. UAB is a W team with a 36 defense. UConn's a B team, the 21 defense. UConn only has to win by 1. And this is why I do what I do, is you can see, what's UAB, right? Nobody knows what UAB is. Well, they're a W team with a 36 defense, and all of a sudden it goes, oh. Now I got to check last 4 or 5, but as of this, they're a shit defense, and UConn's a good offense, so UConn should be able to move on them. We will see. Marshall, 13.5, 55 to Southern Miss. Marshall's the over team with a 26 defense, pretty good quarterback. Southern Miss, a Z team with a 34 defense. This is just like the Connecticut game. You got a Z team. You got a pretty explosive. The difference is UConn just has to win by 1. Here, Marshall has to win by 8, but it's still under 10 against a Z team in Southern Miss who's terrible. Iowa State, Kansas. Iowa State, what the hell did they do last week? They didn't score. They should have lit up Texas Tech. So Iowa State 3-50 to Kansas. I like Kansas a lot. They're an over team, getting better with a 25 defense. Iowa State's an 8 team, still with the 15 defense. Kansas will score on them a little bit more than Texas Tech, but we'll see. But Iowa State, look for Iowa State to score a little bit more. Look for them to not. I thought they ran the ball too much to take the air out of the ball for Texas Tech. And I don't think Kansas has a little bit better defense. I don't know what's going on here. If I want the dog, if I want the total, if I want Iowa State off of a loss, I don't know. Oregon State 355.5 to San Jose State. Oregon State's an over team with a 29 defense. San Jose State's an E team with the 25 defense. San Jose State's got the Navy coach. They've been playing decently, although Fresno State killed them. And on Oregon State, they've had their share of problems getting killed by Oregon. Army, North Texas. Army 5.5, 63.5. What do we got here? Army's an A team with an 11 defense. Shut down Air Force last week for us. North Texas, an over team with the great quarterback, Morris, 37 defense. So just judging from that, I don't think Army's going to stop North Texas. You can only hope to contain them. North Texas gets 515 yards a game. Army ain't stopping them. Army, okay, 11 defense, but a lot of it's been against weak teams. They are an A team. They do score a lot. If the quarterback Daly is playing, then maybe it's a total play. If he ain't playing and they're 5-point favorite, we're all over North Texas. Let's see if we got any news now that it's Tuesday on the Army quarterback. Daly's still questionable with an undisclosed. North Texas, 2 running backs out, and that's it. We don't care about running backs because they throw the ball all over the place. All right, so we don't know about Daly. Let's see what the line does, but Army's 5. This should be an explosive game if Daly plays. Michigan, Indiana. Indiana, 13.5, 48.5. I'm going to change it because I had 14.5 and 48.5. Michigan's an under team with a 23 defense and basically this Warren kid at quarterback. They get 318 yards a game. The defense isn't even that good, 23. They've lost 4 games. Indiana, an A team, playoff team, top 5 team. They're just not getting the respect. So they're keep being motivated. I don't know what they're ranked at now. They're the A team with a 14 defense. Look what they did to Michigan State. It was 10-0, and then they said, let's try. Put up 46 on Michigan State, who has a pretty good defense. I think Indiana is just going to say, oh, yeah, we're pretty good. And they have a chance to, beat Michigan. They're going to beat Michigan. Clemson, Virginia Tech. Clemson, 6.5, 53. Hopefully their kicker is getting practice not kicking into the line. I had 3 field goals blocked in the fucking game. Unbelievable. I couldn't figure out why Clemson wasn't scoring. Then I watched the highlights. They're at the 10-yard line, and the guy kicks it into the line. It cost us our overlock because he kicks it into the line from 20 yards away. Unbelievable. So we got Clemson, Virginia Tech, both B teams, 24 defenses, 6-53. V-Tech, drones, not bad. I don't know if he's healthy or not. Let's take a quick look. He didn't play last game, I thought. Yeah, he's questionable with an undisclosed. So we want V-Tech or the total. We need drones. And Clemson, wide receiver doubtful. Oh, the kicker, punter's out. That's probably why they couldn't make a field goal. They've been explosive. Putting up 40 points a game last week was an anomaly. I got all the anomalies last week. Green Bay didn't score. Minnesota has a scoreless first half. I was like, what the fuck's going on last week? Georgia and Ole Miss. Georgia 2.5, 54.5. Interesting. Ole Miss, they're both A teams. Georgia 17 defense, Ole Miss 13. I think it's higher. Georgia's been having difficulty throwing, and their defense has been having a little difficulty. I mean, they gave up Florida 20 points. This guy threw a long pass and burned them. The Kentucky. No, who the fuck were they playing? Georgia, Florida guy. I mean, he was their backup, and he lit them up. So you're giving up 20 points to Florida, and Ole Miss put up 100 on Arkansas. I just think Ole Miss can put up points on Georgia, and I mean, you're not stopping Georgia. I don't think this is not the Georgia defense that we know and love. 54, we need over 48, 28-20. Okay, Georgia beat Texas, 30 something to 15 or 30 to 15. So it was a 45 there. So you got to keep that in mind. Texas collapsed. Ole Miss, I don't think they played Alabama. LSU beat them 29-26 in overtime. That was tied at 20 or something. And LSU's defense is not as good as Georgia, but they got a pretty good offense. Ole Miss, I think, has a fairly good defense. I don't know over or under in this game yet. But this is a very good game. Now, is Ole Miss a live dog in this game? I don't know, but you don't want to fuck with Georgia too often. Beck's thrown 3 interceptions the last 2 games. Looks like shit. We will see. James Madison, 16.5, 54 to Georgia State. Georgia State's a W. The 31 defense. James Madison, we love the A team. 17 defense. They're very inconsistent. They put up 70 in North Carolina, 20 against Georgia State or whatever. I got Georgia State here. So it's a hard call what Georgia State will do. They're a W team. James Madison should run the score up against the 31 defense. Duke and NC State 3, 52.5. Where are we? Back over here. NC State 3, 50.5. Ooh, it's up to 52. Don't know why. And 3. Duke's very live dog. B team, 22 defense. NC State's an over team now with a 30 defense. Where was that against Tennessee, right? Duke's good quarterback, good defense, like their coach. NC State, I don't know, they've sucked. Let's look at NC State. Let's look at their quarterback. What's going on here? Duke, Malik Murphy, we know, and NC State, C. Bailey. They lost to Wake 34-30, lost to Syracuse 24-17, they beat Cal 24-23, and then they had a big game against Stanford, and this L. Thomas came in. He was 1 of 2 for 12 yards and an interception. Maybe he's the runner, but Bailey, they scored a lot on Stanford, probably a lot of turnovers. So Bailey's the quarterback. Duke's, I think, very live here. Very live. All right. UTEP and Kennesaw State. They're both Z teams. UTEP 4, 42.5. 31 defense, 29 defense. Good luck. Tulane 26.5, 49.5. against Temple. Temple's a Z team. Tulane's very strong. 20 defense. Temple 35 defense. Tulane should kill them, but you're laying 27. Good luck on that. Okay, here we go. Coach Prime, Colorado. Where are they? Where is they? They're up there. Colorado. 3.5, 62.5 to Texas Tech. Colorado's an A team, 22 defense. So they found a defense, no running game. Texas Tech's an over team with a 34 defense, somehow managed to beat Iowa fucking State, who's a lot better than Colorado. Not a lot better, but better. Texas Tech, we know, can score. So then this becomes, are they a live dog or do we want them in the over? And they're live in both spots. We'll have to choose. 62 is a 56. Colorado has been scoring a lot. We know Texas Tech, even against Iowa State, where they still put up 20. It was like 26, 25 or something like that. So you're putting up 26 on Iowa State's like 36 on Colorado. We know they can score. They're tough at home. They're a very live dog in this game at home after beating Iowa State. My other live dog, South Carolina, 3.5, 46. Can you believe this? Vandy's a dog again. Not only a dog, they're a home dog to South Carolina. This is a joke. Vanderbilt, home dog. I got to make this a free play. I mean, I'm sorry. This is ridiculous. South Carolina, they're both B teams. South Carolina, 19 defense, Vandy at 21. 340 yards apiece, total of 46. I mean, we love Pavia. Now they beat Auburn 17-7, again, as 7-point dogs. Here they're home dogs to South Carolina, who's not that good. No, neither was Auburn. This isn't like playing Georgia or Alabama or LSU. They have beaten Alabama and lost to Texas by 3. I don't think they're going to have a terrible problem as a home dog to South Carolina. As I stated, A&M beats LSU, goes on the road, plays South Carolina. I warn you, they're going to be flat. South Carolina sky high. South Carolina kills them. South Carolina is now going to be flat after A&M. And here's Vanderbilt, the big circle. And we got Vandy as a home fucking dog, but it's not Alabama or Texas or Georgia, which they've already beaten Texas or Alabama and played Texas close. They beat Alabama at home. What do you need to see here? My line, Vanderbilt -7. That's why I make my line. How is South Carolina favored? Take Vandy as the points. I'll be posting that game soon. I want to make sure I get all 9.5. Jacksonville State, L-Tech. Jacksonville State 10 and 56. Jacksonville State's an over team. Rich Rodriguez, 28 defense. L-Tech's an under team with a 20 defense. Jacksonville State could run them out of the house, I think. They're an explosive team. L-Tech, I doubt, is that gonna hold them. Lou Lafayette, 16.5, 16.5. Big Lou Lafayette fan. Kind of a high spread here, 16.5. Arkansas State's a W team, 31 defense. Lou Lafayette's an A team, 22 defense. You got to like Lou Lafayette here at home against a weak Arkansas State. Western Kentucky, 18.5, 52 to New Mexico State. Western Kentucky, where are you? Hello, boys. I hate when they go out of order. This is like the 6 o'clock game. Where is it? There it is. Western Kentucky at New Mexico State. 18.5, 52. Western Kentucky, we know, strong. Seth Hennigan, strong quarterback. B team, 21. No, it's not that against the. No, he might be Western Kentucky. A B team, 21 defense. New Mexico State's a Z team with the 36 defense. I think Western Kentucky's gonna have some fun on Saturday. See, they're not worried. There's no defense. They're just gonna light it up. Oregon, 24.5, 25, 25.5, and 26. Pick your poison. To Maryland, 57.5. Well, we know all about Oregon. They just beat Michigan by 21. They're an A team, 16 defense, and they're at home. Maryland's an O team with the over team, 28 defense. Has to travel to the West Coast. They don't have a good defense. Look for Oregon to light it up. They'll put up their 40 something and just methodically score. And Maryland, can they keep up? Do we go over 57.5? You might get Oregon to do that for you. They'll probably be at least in the 40s. I'd be shocked. And then Maryland can score a little bit. Not a lot, but against Oregon. Old Mississippi State in Tennessee. Tennessee is a 23.5, 61 to Old Mississippi State, who's been scoring with Martin Van Buren. He used to be a president. Now he's the quarterback at Mississippi State. An over team, 35 defense. Tennessee, an A team statistically. I don't like their quarterback. 28-18 over Kentucky. Our lock under last week. Do we lock it under again this week? I don't know, because Mississippi State, to lock the games over or under, you need over's got to be against weak defenses, and under's got to be with strong defenses and weak offenses. And with Tennessee, I don't know what I got. I don't like the quarterback. He's okay. They have a very strong defense, but Old Mississippi State's got a 35 defense. So Tennessee should score, but Mississippi State, they played, Georgia, like 51-31. They can score on Tennessee, I would think. So, again, it's a hard one. UCF, Arizona State, at Arizona. Arizona State is 356. UCF's an over team with a 25 defense. Arizona State's an A team with a 23 defense. Scatterbug, their running back's very good. They got the quarterback back. UCF, we know they can light it up. Yeah, we'll see some points in this game for sure. Oak State, TCU, our favorite teams. Oak State. Okay. TCU is 11.5, 66.5. I could care about the point spread. I do care about the total. They're both over teams with 30 defenses. I would say get that over in before it hits 70. 66, 60. Yeah, they'll be in the 30s. Just like today's Tuesday. Notre Dame against Florida State and Ooglia Booglia. Notre Dame, 26, 42.5. Tough defense, 12. They've been scoring more. Florida State's terrible. 27 defense. No offense. Notre Dame probably shuts them out, but what do you do with it? Hard to go under. It's only a 42. Hard to lay 20 points to Florida State, but I think it's more of a Notre Dame than a Florida State under, because Notre Dame might get might go over the 48 by themselves. We'll have to see. Bobby's game, Alabama 58.5 to LSU. Alabama, really, I think they're an over team. They've given up 35, 40 points in a few games. LSU's a B team with a 22 defense, got crushed by A&M. Look for them to bounce back, but you got Bama. This has got to be points here because Alabama doesn't have that defense, and Alabama's going to shred this defense, and LSU's going to shred that defense. So I think this is like a Daniels game where they score a lot. We'll see, but I think they're joining they're joining the Oak State TCU teams. A lot of offense, no defense. Oklahoma 341.5. Wow, Missouri was a 1, is now a 3. They've had injury problems and a 41.5 total. Let's check the injuries. Is Brady Cook playing? The running back was out. Brady Cook was a little injured. Missouri's looked terrible lately. Brady Cook is questionable. Noel, their good running backs. Oklahoma, do they have anybody worth talking about? They got a lot of wide receivers. Holy fuck. 2 are questionable. 3 are questionable. 1's out. 2's out. A 4th one's questionable. A 5th one's questionable. They got 5 questionable receivers and 2 out. O lineman out. You can see why they can't score. Another O lineman out. So the most logical play here is under. Missouri's just looked terrible, but Oklahoma you can't count on. They're an under team with a 21 defense. Missouri's an 18 defense. The only team they could beat is UMass. So I can't bet Missouri here at 9. I love Missouri early, but not now. They haven't really done anything. Although they did beat Vanderbilt by 3, which you didn't think was anything at the time. Now it's like, wow, that was a good win. Oklahoma just sucks. No offense at all. I mean, all you can do, I think, is play this game under. I don't know. You can't take Oklahoma as a favorite. Not on the road. Boise, 24-60 to Nevada. Nevada, an E team. Lewis, I think, is playing. He played last week. They got killed to Colorado State, 28 defense. Boise, the over team with the 25 defense. Basically, it's just hand the ball to Gentry, watch him break 10 tackles and score 5 touchdowns. I think Boise's very live here. We'll have to see what's going on with Nevada. Penn State, 13.5, 46.5 to Washington. The game's at Penn State, which favors them. They just lost to Ohio State. They look terrible. The quarterback, Ellard's not a good quarterback. He always has good stats. You'd think he looks good. Gets in against Michigan, gets in against Ohio State, and they get killed. He threw that bad interception just before the half when it went in and out of the guy's hands, and the Ohio State guy caught it. What a brilliant play by that, but what a terrible pass. 14, I think, is a big number here. Washington is a decent team. We had them as a home dog last week to USC. USC's benching their quarterback, finally going with the Vegas guy who they should have went to in the beginning. This Moss was terrible. This Maivia is very good. He was very good at Vegas. He's more of a running type of quarterback, not the passing type. Maybe that's why he didn't start, but very good quarterback, Maivia, for USC. Pitt, 7.5, 57.5 to Virginia. Where are they? Virginia's an E team with a 28 defense. Pitt's an over team with a 25 defense. They got bombed last week by somebody on the West Coast. Who did they get? SMU killed them. But now they're on the East Coast, but so is Virginia. Virginia's been scoring. We'll see what happens in this game. Vegas and Hawaii. Vegas, 13.5, 49.5 to Hawaii. Where are they? 49.5. Vegas, an A team, very strong team, 23 defense. Hawaii's been playing under. They're not scoring them a lot, but they are a 22 defense. Now, Hawaii beat Fresno State and Mikey Keene last week. So they're playing good. They're at home. UNLV is an outstanding team. I'll be surprised if Hawaii wins this one, but it's a lot of points to get. And then the total of 49. Both teams have pretty good defenses, so it's an iffy game. Fresno State, 10.5, 41 to the Air Force. Let's see if Mikey Keene bounces back. 24 defense, an E team, Fresno State. They don't have a running attack. They're just not scoring. The Air Force, a Z team with a 27, got killed by Army. Look for Fresno State to light them up. Utah, BYU. This is a severe rivalry game. BYU is in Utah, as you know, and Utah is in Utah, as you know. BYU is a 440.5. You have no Cam Rising. If you have Cam Rising, this is a lock, Utah plus 10, but we don't have Cam Rising. So we can't lock Utah plus 10. BYU's been playing great ball. I think they're undefeated. And then Utah with a 16 defense, very strong defense. Zach Wilson's brother is the quarterback for Utah. Hard game to call. It's really, you can't take BYU. You gotta. It's a live dog play, in the fact it's a rivalry, but you got the backup quarterback. Maybe you play it under because you got the backup quarterback and two really good defenses. So we'll see. Utah State, Washington State, 20.5 and 70. Big one. Utah State, we know, is an explosive over team, 42 defense. Washington State's an over team, the 27 defense. I got a feeling this is a 90-point game. Utah State's been scoring. Washington State can score. They did beat Washington. So you're a little bit scared that they can shut down Utah State, but we're not sure. And that, boys and girls, is college football. I can't do pros yet. I haven't looked at it. I need to bring in the stats, make my own lines. I have played the Baltimore-Cincy game. That was a 52 total. I have played it, as I promised you I would. Let's look at the games. The Giants at Carolina in Germany. Oh, there'll be at least 5 people at that game. Who the fuck wants to see the Giants in Carolina as your Germany game? What's the point? Nobody's gonna go. New England goes to Chicago. I hate when the analysts go, well, why was Caleb out there? They were down 20 points. You know, the game's out of reach. Why is he out there and he got injured? Because you don't give up. That's why you keep playing until the game ends. So if you take him out, you're saying we give up. And if you do that, then you've lost the team and you're a terrible coach. So when these announcers say this stupid, they're worried about injuries. It's sickening. It's like going for 4th down. They all want to go for 4th down. It's always a good play. What a bunch of morons. You can't even listen to these guys. Buffalo and Indiana, Indianapolis. I don't think Buffalo can beat college Indy. I think they can beat pro Indy. We'll see. Denver, KC. Again, we got to scratch our head with Denver here. This should be a live dog in the game. I don't know. And probably an under. We have to see. Atlanta, New Orleans. Is New Orleans really that bad? They lost to Carolina with Derek Carr. Jesus Christ. Frisco at Tampa. I believe McCaffrey is back next week. We'll see. Tampa found a way to score on a tough KC defense, so give them credit. Pitt and Washington. I don't know what to do because Pitt with Russell Wilson is not an under. Washington, they're both 8 teams. I would say it's a tease the dog game. Minnesota, Jacksonville. Jacksonville plays high scoring games. Minnesota does too, usually. How they couldn't an Indian. Well, they missed 3 field goals. You're always like scratching your head when you see like a 7-0 game in the pros. I mean, with Minnesota, are you kidding me? But there was 3 missed field goals. Otherwise, we got her over. I think it's just flukes. Once in a while, it's a 7-0 game when it should be 28 at the half. Tennessee, San Diego. We know what we do with San Diego. Philly and Dallas. Dallas sucks. Dak is out with a hamstring, so I think it's Cooper Rush against Philly, which makes Dallas much more dangerous because they're going to play defense if Micah Parsons is there. Philly, they giving up points to Jacksonville. I don't know anymore. The Jets go to Arizona. I don't know. Aaron Rodgers, again, it's a mystery. Could be a live dog. Detroit at Houston. Can somebody explain this line? How is Detroit 3.5 over Houston? Am I missing? Is the game fixed already? Did they pay him off and that's why they're 3.5? How is this not a 10-point favorite? Houston sucks. Detroit is killing everybody. They can run it down your throat or pass it down your throat. I'm just at a loss. CJ Stroud's not that good. This is crazy. And then the last game, Miami goes to the Rams. Neither team's got a defense. Tags looking good at Buffalo for once. Okay. We will see. I want to make Detroit the free play, but I am not doing that. I don't know what to do for free plays anymore. I'm giving it, and I'm winning the other 7 or 8 games, and I'm losing the free play. I mean, I win every other game early. I could have given you Cincinnati over. I could have given you San Diego under, which was my lock. I could have given you Kansas City. No, I give you the free play of Denver and 15.5, and they lose by 30. So I don't know. I'm really snake bit on these free plays. I might not give one this week. I just don't want to give out another loser when I'm hitting every other fucking game. All right, so that's what we got in the pros. We'll look at the lines tomorrow. There's no hurry. Like I said, I did play Cincinnati, Baltimore for my buyers. Overall, it was a good week last week. 3-1 in the college locks, 1-2 in the pro locks, but those were like the only 2 games I lost. I hit the Bears under, San Diego lock under, Cincinnati over, Buffalo, Philadelphia, the Rams over, Kansas City. So it was a weird week. And I should have won the locks. Detroit had no problem in the rain. It was Green Bay that dropped that pass in the end zone because the receiver doesn't know to stop when the pass is a little behind him. He just keeps running. What the fuck kind of idiot is that? So that's a winner. And then 3 missed field goals in Minnesota, or that's a winner. So it's just, those are weird games. Detroit, I'm noticing, is pretty much an over. Their defense is still terrible. It's a little bit better. They've switched to man coverage as opposed to zone coverage because nobody knew how to play zone coverage, and they were giving up 300 yards a game to the other team's receivers. So it's gotten a little better, although Mason Rudolph lit them up. And the only reason they didn't get lit up last week because it was Love with the groin muscle, and the coach outsmarted himself. He kept running the ball, which all it did was that's not the strength of Green Bay. You ended up losing because you weren't scoring, right? You didn't score, and Love should not have been out there. It should have been Malik Willis. Love looked terrible. There was a couple of snaps that he dropped, and just bad passing. His receivers were dropping the ball. You would have blamed the rain, except for the Detroit receivers didn't drop one ball, and Jared Goff, who sucks, was real accurate. So you can't sit there and go, well, it was the rain, but you can if it affected Detroit, but it didn't. So you're just scratching your head going, so Green Bay couldn't handle the rain. A lot of the receivers didn't know what the fuck they were doing. The center couldn't snap the ball back to low. What the fuck was going on in that game? And why do they stay in the shotgun when it's like 4th and 1 and you need to hand it off? Can somebody explain why they're in the shotgun? They can't. The center can't. The quarterback can't go under center. It's like a law. So again, I'll look at pros right now after this, and I want to show you one thing on Putin, the Pooter. So we have, this should make my guys happy, Luke. Russia's new gold exchange to rival COMEX. Russia ends gold trade with G7. BRICS precious metals exchange threatens the U.S. and U.K. So basically, they're coming out with their old gold exchange, which I thought we had the Shanghai. This is Russia's. This will end COMEX and the London because they don't have any inventory and people need gold and silver. They want to buy it. And this stupid paper crap. So this is going to have a Russian gold exchange, which will be physical. Thank you, God. This is another reason I'm running out to buy gold tomorrow. We got to see who wins the election. Not that it matters. If Harris wins, gold's going to go through the roof because there'll be huge inflation. And if Trump wins, there'll be huge inflation and gold probably still goes through the roof. Neither of them is going to come out with a gold-backed currency. They're not smart enough. Trump wants to do tariffs, which is terrible. Harris doesn't know she wants to give tax breaks. This is her slogan. I'm going to give tax breaks. I'm going to give money out to all the people. I'm going to buy your votes by giving you money. Why don't you get the fucking regulations off and stop printing and pay off the debt with gold and go to a gold standard? Otherwise, the country's fucked anyway. So we will see what happens with that. But that's where we're at with it. I did want to just show you that one. I'm not going to play it, but we will show it. So let's see what happens with the election. We'll probably not know till tomorrow morning. Who knows? After last year, I would imagine if Harris needs 300,000 votes to win, she'll get 305,000. I do not trust the fact there's no way this election is not rigged. George Soros got the machines. They're crooked. When they come out and say, "Oh no, the election's not fixed," we look at everybody's picture to make sure it's them, except for the dead people. And by the way, the counters are fixed by Soros. So if you vote for Trump, it's one vote. If you vote for Harris, it's 10 votes. Oh yeah, but we know who votes. It's such bullshit. So we're really fucked. I don't know how Trump can win because unless they've looked at the vote thing, they're fucked. So I don't know. It doesn't matter. I don't know how Trump can win. You can't win it's like a fixed game, right? How can you win it? You can't You can't win by more than 7, Johnny. Right? You can win, but you can't win by more than 7. So how are you going to cover? How are you going to cover 8 when you can't do it? So Soros is controlling the machines just like he did in France and the UK and Canada, where he puts the liberals in who are a bunch of idiots who are inflating the hell out of it and ruining the West, which leads to China and Russia taking over with the gold-backed currency because we're too stupid to go to a gold-backed currency. How can we be this stupid and not understand gold and go to a gold-backed currency? Are you fucking kidding me? Anyway, we'll buy it and off we go. So that's what's happening. Work's going well for me. It's a mess because they're all under powertrain and now ours is by itself. And they're kind of this Apollo private equity firms coming in. They don't know what the fuck they're doing. They probably just want to come in and sell it, but we'll be okay because we'll be sold and somebody else will own it. But they don't know what the fuck they're doing, and it's just stupid. But there's nobody. It's like the ship's running in circles. There's nobody really in charge of it. Who knows what the fuck they're doing? So I'm fine in my role. I'm doing it just like I did Mercedes. Fuck it. The boss is okay. He's appreciative I'm helping, so I'm fine. Not like Toyota. Funny how at Toyota we had to do calisthenics, but that's the only place I've ever had to do. At 8 o'clock, you'd have to do jumping jacks and all this other shit. And that's the only place I've ever seen that anybody's so stupid to make you do that. Here, 8 o'clock comes, you're not jumping in your place. So stupid. But anyway, so that's what's happening. We'll see what happens with the elections, football. Like I said, so I've got the Cincinnati game posted already with another game. So if you're buying, I would suggest you buy by Thursday. People buy on Fridays and then they miss the Thursday games. And I do play them. I don't play them often. I am playing this one. And and we will see. But I don't know about the college, but the week starts today. I'm not playing today's. I probably won't play tomorrow's, but I do. The week starts Tuesday. If you're buying the week, you probably should buy it Tuesday. Anyway, I think that's about it. So have a good evening. I'll be here tomorrow. We'll go through the pros. Tomorrow's already Wednesday. So we'll go through the pros, and I got to update them now. So I'm going to do that. And that'd be it. So I'm going to take the garbage out and get cracking on the pros, put my lines in, and then I know there's lines out there. I just looked at the Cincinnati line because I had to play it. Otherwise, take care. Good luck in the election. Something smells fishy to me. They want everybody to vote. Why do they want everybody to vote? Do they want our information? Are they going to sell it? What's going on with that? Go out and vote. Then there's this commercial. Well, nobody knows who you voted for, but everybody can see that you voted. What? Why is that? My friends are going to care if I voted or not. So if I say I voted, that's not, did you vote? Yes. Oh, okay. Well, let me look online to see if you voted or not. What is that? That smells like bullshit to me. And I just don't get the whole thing. So in my mind, very curious about what's going on. And I definitely don't like it. I think they're selling our information by us voting. We're giving up our information. And that's what I think this is about. It's never what it seems, right? Being analytical as I am, I can read between the lines, and that's what I'm reading. we'll get all your information when you voted. Oh, here comes the CBDCs. Well, we know who you voted. Well, no, they don't know who we voted for, supposedly, just that we voted, but I don't buy that. They probably know who we voted for. So they can say, oh, you're not getting CBDC. You voted for Trump or you voted for Harris or whatever it is. So be very careful with that. Don't trust these idiots as far as you can throw them. Just buy your gold. That's it. That's the safe haven. Nobody knows you have it. Nobody can fuck with you. They can't say it's worthless. They can't say, oh, the money's in the bank. We're not getting it. Your 401k. Oh, yeah, by the way, it's worthless. So just be careful there. Okay. And that's about it. So www.teaserking.com. Have a good day. And I will talk to you tomorrow. Ciao.